Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS, a psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, we are going to talk about the compatibility between ENTJ and INTPs. So according to MBTI textbook, the INTP and the ENTJ is supposed to be an ideal match. This is bullshit. Okay, a match maybe, but not the ideal match definitely. I could also understand why the INTP is supposed to be the ideal match for the ENTJ, because the INTP and the ENTJ have shadow functions that are exactly the same. So for the ENTJ, dominant function is TE, for the INTP, dominant function is TI, and if you look on this list, everything matches. It appears as if they are totally the shadow of each other. So before we talk about the INTP and ENTJ connection, let's talk more about the INTP. So a very famous real life INTP is Albert Einstein. So INTPs definitely have the potential to be very successful in life. Nonetheless, INTPs can also become losers, like Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bean has been observed to use many silly methods for his own self-interest, and he is a typical INTP, although a very extreme one. So where can you find the INTP in real life? They are actually all over. Most of the time you can identify them through the internet. It is possible to identify an INTP through a group photo. In a group gathering photo, the INTP is really easy to recognize. They will show faces like... You might actually have a very high probability of getting correct if you guess that this person is an INTP. They are mostly weird, quirky, and detached from the world. INTPs can also be very personal about things. They can get offended rather easily. They might think that you are challenging them. So sometimes they might just say, "Oh, you said this, I am going to sue you." And immediately they go onto Facebook or onto Twitter and tell their friends about it. They say, "How can I get a lawyer?" It's as if they really want to pursue the matter further. When you see somebody like that, INTP. So INTPs also have very wild creative ideas of how things work. They might really believe in conspiracy theories. So very early in the COVID-19 epidemic, an INTP was posting on Facebook this. He actually proposed that the coronavirus was actually developed by the Americans and it was planted into China because it was an attempt to destroy China. And should you challenge them with another idea, they will continue to insist that their idea is correct. Why? Because they use TI, and TI is their dominant function. Never ever get into a quarrel or debate with an INTP because they don't know when to stop. They will keep biting you like a mad dog, and they will ask you questions and assume that they are right. And they will come up with logic like, "I am a teacher for 30 years already, I know better. I have met a lot of people, I know the things." Or, "I am mature enough to know what is happening." So if you engage in a debate with an INTP, then he quotes this. So as a TE user, I will say that maturity has nothing to do with age. So we will start going off tangent and it will suddenly escalate into something unpleasant. Why? Because the INTP does not want to lose, because he always thinks that he's correct. In fact, I think the INTP has very low social awareness. They do not know when to stop. As a result, INTPs may be socially awkward or socially undesirable. Why? I know very well. Because my mom is an INTP. I have lived with her for very, very long. One of the biggest problems with TI is that TI does not think from the point of view of other people. They only think from their own point of view. So This also makes them very low in social awareness, and they do not think of consequences for others. They only think of how it benefits themselves. So I can tell you this incident about my mom. She is a typical INTP.
It's so typical of me to talk.
So my mom is a typical INTP. I do not know what is wrong with her mind. Whenever I introduce my partners to her, she will condemn me in front of them. I think the purpose is that she wants to portray herself as a very caring, understanding and tolerant mother. She said, I am a very tolerant woman. My son got this, all these weaknesses, but I can live with it. So sometimes I think that what she is trying to do is to glorify herself so that she appears to be a very kind future mother-in-law. However, when godmother do this kind of thing to their son, it is unbelievable. You condemn, say everything bad about him in front of a new partner. Now that I know MBTI better, I understand that INTPs may not be using TE as a function, so they might only think from their own personal point of view, causing the situation sometimes to become worse. So you might hear of a INTP consultant saying, if you want my service, you pay first. They don't think from the point of view of the customers or clients that need validation. So this is also why I mentioned that INTPs can be very detached from the real world. Nonetheless, they must be very good, positive INTPs. It's just that in my personal life, I think I am always meeting the more critical type of INTPs. Now, INTP is also a judger, same as the ENTJ, but the INTP is usually more judgmental than the ENTJ. So all in all, packed together, the INTP and the ENTJ is not going to work. Nonetheless, I believe that the INTP is able to offer the ENTJ some perspectives that can be very unique and thought-provoking. So a conversation between the INTP and the ENTJ can be really interesting. But beware, do not go onto a debate, because in the debate, the ENTJ will have to walk away. The only way to deal with TI logic is to use TI logic or just walk away, because it has no end. The INTP will always bite you to the end. Do INTPs mature over time? The few INTPs that I know who are older than me still have very strong TI logic. And because TE and TI logic really just doesn't gel. So as a TE user, it is very frustrating because the TI user will never understand that there are many different perspectives to a particular problem. They only can see from their own perspective, and they only want to see things from their own perspective. So as a result, this is not going to match. Furthermore, I am worried that if I have an INTP wife, she becomes like my mum. However, I really believe that there is a mature INTP. I would really like to meet this person. So the answer to this episode is very obvious. It is not a good match between the INTP and the ENTJ in the long run. Okay, this is a video directed to explain whether an INTP is compatible with an ENTJ from the ENTJ's point of view. So I hope nobody gets offended or take it personally. This is my personal opinion. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ related videos and MBTI related videos. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!